Friday night detox. We've got about 8 minutes or so until we get started, so I'll have let's say 4 or 5 minute seat. So if you'd like to join me, find a comfortable position with your head above your heart. The basics in sitting is remain still. And so even when your mind tries to head towards that urge to fidget or to move, it's not that you're resisting it, you're observing it. And so hold up your end of the bargain in stillness and let your breath be natural and observe the air coming into your body and observe the air going out of your body. And so we'll just have about a 4 minute set and see how you feel tonight. And you're welcome to close your eyes, rest your hands on your thighs or your knees. You feel the first breath and that you turn into with more awareness. And then begin to settle from here. And you can place a gentle focus on your third eye center, the space in the middle of your forehead. And continue to observe the air coming into your body and the air coming out of your body. And notice the little shifts in the way that your mind and your body adapt to the stillness. And release some of the strength in that you may be gripping and holding yourself upright. And see, it doesn't really take that much time and to shift in the awareness of your mind, to drop into a different space. And feel your next breath into your chest, sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, you can empty your lungs and slowly begin to bring your eyes back into the room. Take note through your five senses. And begin to connect to your environment while having a better understanding of what you're feeling inside of your body. Welcome, everybody. It's our little experiment. And sitting for 5 minutes before our morning practice, sitting for 5 minutes in our evening practice, and then going into our practice in that way versus the agonizing rush to get to the yoga mat, or in the old days, the rush to get to the yoga studio. Is the rush to walk across the parking lot, whatever that might be. Derek, Ari, good evening. Happy May 1st, everybody. First of the month. And totally understand that it's justified if you're feeling the ebb and the flow and the waves energetically. Some days you're high as high can be. Some days you're normalized on a level plane. Some days you're feeling a bit down. So it's okay to be anywhere you are. I'm so glad you guys have made your way to your mat. And I've always said, and if I ever talk to another teacher, right, I say it doesn't matter if you're guiding and practicing with one person or 1,000 people or 1 million people. And the beauty is to understand that this practice is really formed and developed inside of the individual, inside each of you. And the power and the magnitude of exploring peace within one individual is just as exciting as a million individuals exploring that. So the power doesn't change. The excitement is the same, and the encouragement and the motivation behind sharing the practice, right, is exactly the same. It's not a multiplier and based on how many people. I'm going to go ahead and start my playlist on the live stream earbuds app if you're following along. And let me know, you guys, how the mic sounds. I turned it up a little bit in the attempt that you can hear me clearly, especially in Detox. And then some people were saying they wanted to have their music a little bit louder and still be able to hear me. And so I hope we're accomplishing that. I want to remind you guys that every single playlist is curated for each practice that you're having. The music is out there. It's on Spotify. It is part of our moving meditation. It's becoming part of our history. Once we complete the practice, that practice becomes part of our history. And so obviously we can break the moment down, break the moment down, break the moment down, all the way until we get inside of a breath. But let's say for the element of, or the kind of ability to break time, let's just say that this whole practice is the moment. And then one day we can say the two practices, they are the moment. And then perhaps one day, and maybe you're there tonight, you could say the two practices and the space in between are the moment. And then perhaps you might be here, you could say the two practices, the space between, and the moments that come after the evening practice are the moment. And you get what I'm saying. Eventually, in the whole life, your perspective, your outlook, your insight, and the way you move, the way you breathe, it all becomes the moment, because that's what it is. That's what we were taking a little breakdown analysis into in our yoga life conversation today. This idea of presence, it's not a choice. It's the only option. So I'm happy to exist in it with all of you, and anybody that we can share this experience with, verbally, non-verbally, in person, near, far. It's a beautiful thing. Let's start on our backs tonight. And we're going to start with the soles of your feet together. For example, moving through these practices, becoming more observant inside of your own body, you're going to notice things. Like I noticed my right hip flexor was overworking in this morning's practice, and then I felt that throughout the day. It's not bad. I'm glad to be aware and to be able to feel that sensitivity within the body. So on your back, shoulders flat, soles of your feet together, knees falling apart. I hope again you guys can hear me okay. I hope that we're continuing to build in our relationship and to trust this process, to trust each other, and to be a part of this process together. The one that is unscripted, and the one that comes with absolutely no plan. And the reason it doesn't come with a plan, because without a plan there cannot be any expectation. There's no way to measure it. If you have a plan, then you're going to measure it. And you're going to see if you reached your goal or if you accomplished what you came to do. But if you don't have a plan, if you simply have insight, wisdom, intuition, sensitivity, and then you'll be part of building these experiences. You'll be part of building your life. And you'll be less fixed in the form and more spacious in the most authentic expression of yourself. I'm going to let you rest here. Hands can be anywhere that feels good. Close the eyes, relax the cheeks. And observe the air as it comes into your body and the air as it goes out of your body. And pretty much this whole week, you guys, in Detox, I don't know where I've been, I don't know what's been going on, but I never actually notice when it becomes pretty much pitch black and dark. It's like I'm here and I notice the light, and then all of a sudden at some point, it's completely dark. I hope you're starting to see how interesting stillness can be. How powerful it is to sit inside of the emotional response. Sometimes breaking down previous traumas, dramas, and stories that we sit with in our mind, and other times and finding ourselves in the excitement of the release. You can't even imagine how many versions of self we've all eclipsed, and through nearly 80 practices now at this point. And keep your butterfly legs, but let your feet slide down a little bit further on the mat. And so you're broadening the diamond shape with your legs. And see if that gives you a little bit more space at the top of the thigh, and where it begins to meet into your hip flexors. And then you can visualize and feel the rise and the fall of your belly here. If you'd like to join me, I invite you to send out some love into everybody, and that continues to support everybody tonight. And those that are able to take their practice and beyond, not in a bad way, but beyond in the state of caring for themselves and to also care for each other. And you can use your hands on your outer thighs and to assist your knees, bring them back up to touch. And bring the soles of your feet flat, and then take your arms over your head. Give yourself a little half body stretch. You can actually roll your low back into the mat. Keep your belly into your spine as you reach your arms over your head. Okay, let's scoot the hips over to the right and roll through your left side. And come around with your right hand to all fours. And set yourself up with any padding that you need. And possibly underneath your left knee, bring your right foot forward. And straight up lunge, one hand on each side of your front foot. And belly is inside your right thigh. And take as much space as you like between your front heel and your back knee. And let's feel into the lower half of your body, set it up, and begin to come still. And let your chin rest into your chest. And pay attention when you find yourself revisiting certain postures you've had now, and experiences where you can reflect and probably feel a difference in what your body is doing in this pose tonight, what your mind is doing, what your emotions might be doing. You're not necessarily comparing to make this better than it was before, but to learn and to feel yourself grow. Or even just to feel a little bit more comfortable this time than you did last time. Relax and release your jaw. If you want to let your head soften to a new position, go ahead and let it soften even further. You notice in this practice and that you can either run from the sensations and then observe what that's like in your mind, or you can embrace and fall into the wisdom of the sensations and see what that's like in your mind. And don't take my word for it. Try it both ways. And by not trying it all, and just see what it feels like. Let's take 5 more breaths on this side. And let's feel this as you slowly start to make your hips come back. And slide your right foot behind and come into a child's pose. You can keep your knees closer versus further apart. And bring your hips to your heels. Let your forehead or your forearms, and first for that matter, come down and rest into the ground. Observe your right side versus your left side and your lower body. And relax your belly into your thighs. And keep your head heavy. Go ahead and roll yourself back up to all fours. And let's step the left foot in between the hands. And as much space as you'd like between your left heel and your right knee. And place any padding underneath your back knee, underneath your hands. And begin to find yourself in the shape. And soften your chin so your belly is inside your left thigh. And we can start to fall into the depth of this pose. And let go of your breath, because if you're holding on to the breath, then you're likely holding on with some muscles in your body, and you want your muscles to relax. I want to share with you all the reminder that as this is becoming normalized for you, and for many people this is extremely challenging to even sit in this pose for 30 seconds, let alone 5 minutes. And so the reminder is that you are in developing space. Your mind is becoming more peaceful amidst the circumstances of stress. And of course, your body is changing along the way. Whether it's flow or detox, I say bring yourself to the mat and realize all the benefits in the emotional layer and the mental layer. And then along the way, don't worry, you're going to get a six-pack. It'll just happen because you'll be repeating and doing a lot of poses. But it's that release of emotion. You're no longer holding on to the stress, and the calmer mind, and that I believe keeps us coming back. You can let your head come down to a whole nother level. And feel your body here. whatever's going on in your body and your mind right now, embrace it, with patience, and you can gently begin to slide your hips back and bring your left foot behind you and come into a child's pose with your knees a little bit closer than you normally would. Belly to your thighs, rest your forehead down onto the mat. Forearms and forehead. You slowly go ahead and roll yourself back up into a tabletop. And spread your knees now as wide as your mat. And bring your big toes together so they touch. And take your right hand forward, say 6 inches. And we're going to slide the left arm to the right, underneath your armpit. And keep your tailbone up. And turn down onto your left shoulder, onto the left side of your head. And so the hips stay on top of the knees on that plane, and then your right arm can slide forward. And then begin to soften through the twist. You may be feeling this especially after this morning's practice. And we did a bit of active and engaged twisting, using the anterior serratus muscles. You use a lot of rhomboid muscles underneath into your upper back to draw your shoulders down from your ears. So let's let these muscles, along with the intercostals in between your ribs, let's give them some love tonight. As we continue to throw out support, and for all those that are helping all those and everybody in need, whether that's physical, mental, or emotional. See, it works in all ways. And that's the point: on the mat, off the mat, and through the mat, through the life, with yourself, with each other. And it works in all ways. You sit in the peaceful silence of the stillness and observe the sensations in your body. About 1 more minute on this side.
Feel your knees. Slide your right hand back beside your face. As you add weight to your right hand, it's going to lift your head, and then you can slowly slide your left arm back out. And keep your head heavy. Eyes can be closed as you make your way into a tabletop. And take a deep breath and a light sigh. Exhale out of your mouth. Crawl your knees forward. And sit back onto your heels, head above your heart. And a continuation in the shoulder from the left side. Take your left arm out into a T. And turn your thumb down and bring your forearm behind your back. You can lower your chin. And get your forearm to tuck straight across your low back. And then all you do is lift your heart and to bring your gaze back out in front. And take your right hand, reach it up towards the sky. And place your right hand on the top of your head. And fingertips curl over the left side, and then gently move your right ear towards your right shoulder. You find the space and place and where your head is going to rest, and then close your eyes, relax your tongue. And observe your breath as it hits your heart. It's good when your breath hits your heart. And of course, you're welcome to close your eyes here. And take one deeper breath here. The shoulders drop and the chest open. And through the exhale, you can let your head slide out of your hand, coming back to center. And close your eyes if you want to feel this trippy lightness and through your midline. Bring your right hand down to your thigh. And let your left hand slide down your back. And then bring your left hand back onto your thigh. You feel how effortless it can be to sit with incredible posture and lightness at the same time. You literally witness as you observe little to no force. As you're deepening the interrelatability of all parts of your body, of every experience in your life. In the shift of the moment expanding. And soften the chin, let your eyes come back into the space. And let's set up the other side. Come onto all fours, please. You should feel some of that warmth go back into your feet as your hips sit off of your heels, knees are mat width apart. Left hand comes forward 6. And then the right arm goes out to the left. You go slow as you twist, come down onto your right shoulder and to the side of your head. And take your left hand forward to support. And you might really be feeling this side tonight. And when you get deep in some of these poses, it really feels like we're sitting at the bottom of the funnel. Like everything and all of the energy that is swirling around is in part traveling through gravity, through our body. And we're at the very bottom of the funnel, hopefully. And what we're putting out is more awareness. And the culmination of acute space. And the realization, the quality of space. Little by little, and developing, growing, spreading, and ultimately sharing it and through ourselves, with ourselves, but with each other. And slowly slide your left hand back by your face. Add some weight and close the eyes as you slide your right arm out. And let your head be heavy. In tabletop, bring your knees together. And crawl them forward a little bit and then sit back onto your heels so you are once again upright through your spine. And take your right arm out into a T. And turn your thumb down. And bring your right forearm behind your back. You can lower your chin. And get your forearm all the way across your low back. And so you're sliding the hand across. And then gently roll your heart up. And set your gaze out in front. And left hand comes up towards the sky. And place it on the top of your head, fingertips crawling to the right. And with ease, let your left ear come towards your left shoulder. Let's rest here. And beauty, take a deep breath into your chest. And then gently start to slide your head back through your hand. And close your eyes for the trippy lightness as you bring your left hand down. And slide your right hand down your back. Humble your chin to your chest. And then observe as you release both hands onto your thighs. And see where you're being drawn to observe most of the sensation in your body right now. And keep your internal eye on those sensations as you open your eyes. And bring your hands back onto the mat, coming into a tabletop. And plant the hands, feel the counter stretch as you tuck your toes. And then go ahead and lift your knees, bring your hips up as you roll your heels down, coming into a downward facing dog. And feel your down dog fill out with a couple breaths. And feel your body align, hopefully, and feeling some balance here. And some change in the relationship into your down dog. And let's make our way back down onto the knees. And sit back onto your heels. Bring your right leg out in front of you. And so you can sit directly onto your left heel tonight. And if you need to scoot your bum over to the left a little bit. And so the heel of your foot is like putting a dimple into your butt cheek. The right leg is out in front. Relax your toes. And hopefully you have fun, colorful socks on like me. And relax your toes in them. And crawl your hands forward till you meet a sensation in the back of your right leg. And let your chin fall into your chest. And it's okay, you can be equally excited about the sensations in your hamstring on your right leg. And whatever you're feeling in your left ankle, and to your heel, to your shin, to your knee on your left leg. And such a good practice, and to keep your jaw loose here. Go ahead and slowly walk your hands back to your hips. And chin to your chest, roll up from the base of your spine. And so your head is the last thing to rise, and feel all the weight of your upper body onto your left ankle for the last few breaths here. Feel free to let out a sigh. Feel that release in your chest. And lean to the left a little bit. Bend your right leg. And so you come back onto your right shin. And rock to the right, and so that you can release your left leg out in front of you. And scoot your bum over, bring your heel under, and so you're getting the heel and to make a dimple right into your bum cheek. And relax your left toes. And let's start to bring ourselves down. And as soon as you start to bring your torso forward, and then you're building a relationship with the sensation in the back of your left leg, so you don't have to force it. And you want to take the energy in where you have to work to balance out, so use your hands if you need to. And then start to settle here. And practice in a soft jaw, even if you soften it and then it becomes tight again, soften it again. And every time you observe, And keep your head heavy. You're welcome to have your eyes closed. And walk your hands back by your hips. And as you roll yourself up through your spine, bringing all of the weight in the upper body on top of your right ankle. You might feel this in the top of the shoulders, the base of the neck. And take a breath in some space and neutrality around your heart. And then open your eyes as you lean to the right a bit. And so that you can slide your left foot back in. And come onto your knees, crawl your hands out in front. And let's go for a belly shavasana tonight. And so you're going to release the legs out behind you. And come down onto the front body. Hey, your belly, bring your big toes together. And let your heels fall apart. And let your hips release, your belly soften. And then you can just slide your elbows out, make a little pillow, and turn either cheek down onto your hands. And coming into a belly shavasana tonight. And should feel really good in your low back. And those hamstrings that you just opened up all the way down to your feet. And at the same time, it's kind of a bonus. And belly shavasana is like receiving the best hug you've ever had in your entire life. And go ahead and soften everything out here. And relax. Let it go. Be still. I want to thank you so much for your practice tonight. You may start to understand why we would never try to plan for an experience like this. I hope you appreciate the space. Yeah, I know stillness can be quite the teacher. And please take this relaxation and this peace with you into the rest of your evening, whatever you get into. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow morning for our flow practice at 10 a.m. You take care of yourself, and one more time, you please invite and send and share energy and love with everybody that is supporting everybody. Those that have eclipsed the selfish existence, not in a bad way, but are out there and supporting you and supporting me and allowing us to have this opportunity to practice on our mats. And let me know if you need anything. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest. Namaste, everybody.